This is the Jasion RetroVolt Electric Bike, and just looking at it, I get a serious blast of retro cool vibes. Right off the bat, the styling is what got my attention. It sort of takes all the best parts of classic mopeds and old school mountain bikes, but packs it into a modern, powerful electric bike with fat, beefy tires and some nice, bold color pops. If you've ever wanted an e-bike that stands out and actually looks fun to ride, this is one to consider. From my experience, this bike feels like pure freedom on two wheels. I know that sounds big, but that's honestly how riding it made me feel the first few days. Kinda like taking a shortcut back to being a kid, but with a ton more power. So, let's just get straight to the heart of what it's like to use. This is a quick review, but I've ridden it through city streets, some gravel trails, and more than a few bumpy shortcuts. Talking key features, what really sets the Jasion RetroVolt apart for me is the motor and battery. Underneath the vintage looks, there's a 750-watt motor that hits a peak at 1500 watts, which is, to put it simply, really strong. For me, that translates to getting up to 30 miles per hour pretty easily, and on some light downhill stretches, it even pushes past that if the road is safe and clear. What surprised me was how easy it handled hills or tougher terrain. Whether I'm on the paved city streets, dodging potholes, or hopping onto rougher trails, the motor's got the torque to keep me moving fast. It takes a lot of the struggle out of places I'd normally have to slow way down. The 48-volt 13Ah removable battery is the other thing that kept catching my attention. Pedal assist mode, which basically means the motor helps you while you pedal, can get you up to 70 miles per charge if you ride economically. I don't always get the full range, but I ride hard and push the throttle a lot, so for the days I really want to explore, I'm honestly not stressing about running out of juice. Plus, the battery comes off in seconds, so I can take it indoors to charge or just top it up between rides. For anyone just getting started, removable batteries are a big deal because you don't have to drag the whole bike inside your apartment or garage. Comfort was actually something I was kind of unsure about at first. The look is chunky and heavy-duty, not super streamlined or sleek, and sometimes that means the ride is harsh. But with this one, it's actually the opposite. The RetroVolt's got a full front and rear dual suspension setup, which is basically like having shock absorbers on both wheels. The main result is you hardly feel those nasty bumps, and even when I hit curbs or rooty trails, it never tossed me around. The huge 20-inch fat tires only add to that stability. Fat tires just grip every surface better, whether it's loose gravel, mud, wet pavement, or just crummy city roads. They make a big difference for someone like me who likes to go off the main path, and they're a blessing if you're new to e-bikes and worried about slipping or losing balance. One early concern I had with the Jasion RetroVolt was the overall weight. This thing is built from high-carbon steel, so it's really sturdy, but it's not light if you have to carry it up steps. If you store your bike in a basement or on a rack, be prepared. It's not just a quick pick up and go. At the same time, that weight works in your favor once you're moving. The bike is super stable, and I always feel safe even at top speed or on nasty roads. If you've ever been on an e-bike that felt wobbly or cheap at high speeds, you'll definitely notice the difference with this frame. The RetroVolt has a pretty solid digital LCD display right by the handlebars. For people newer to e-bikes, this is how you see your speed, how much battery you've got left, and which riding mode you're using. I use the screen whenever I switch between pure electric, full throttle, no pedaling, pedal assist, or just regular pedaling. I personally like the cruise mode, which keeps my speed up without having to hold down the throttle all the time. That's a little thing, but it adds up on a long ride. About brakes. This bike uses front and rear disc brakes, so you can stop quickly even if the roads are messy or wet. I've tested this in a couple emergencies, and it grabs just like it should. For people who've never tried disc brakes before, they're kind of like what motorcycles use, compared to the old squeeze brakes you see on kids' bikes. You get a faster, more controlled stop. As far as user-friendly touches go, the bike comes about 90% pre-assembled out of the box. I still needed to put a few things together, twist some bolts, and set up the handlebars and pedals, but honestly, that took less than an hour. If you're not super handy, you can probably manage with just YouTube and basic tools. And for folks who ride at night or in early morning, the built-in LED headlight and taillight are bright enough for traffic to see you, which adds to that peace of mind. Something else important for new riders. The RetroVolt supports up to 450 pounds, so it's actually pretty inclusive for most adults, or for those times you want to toss a heavy backpack or cargo on the rear seat. The seat's firm, but in a good way. I'd suggest maybe swapping it out for a more padded one if you're planning big adventures, but for my daily 5 or 10 mile trips, it's just fine. Now, it wouldn't be a real quick review if I didn't mention the downsides. Like I said, the weight is a thing, and while the frame's overbuilt, it means you aren't picking this bike up with one hand. The gear shifting, right out of the box, was a little stiff. At first, changing gears took more effort than I'm used to on other bikes. However, it loosened up over a couple rides, so for someone newer, just give it a bit of time. One other thing is charging time. For a full battery, you're looking at about 4 hours, which is a little long if you forget to plug it in before a big ride. But it's not too bad if you get in the habit of charging it after each trip. In my opinion, the overall build quality, ride feel, and power of the Jasion RetroVolt make it a really compelling e-bike, especially if you want something that's not just another electric bike. It rides like a tank, but looks like a throwback. The classic styling draws questions every single time I park it. It turns heads, and that's just fun. It doesn't look clunky or like some weird science project, like a lot of e-bikes do. It's perfect for commuters, folks who want to take detours onto bumpy trails or parks, or someone just starting out who wants an e-bike that's going to last. From my experience, having the freedom to switch between pedal assist and full throttle when your legs get tired is a game changer, especially on longer rides or when you're running late. If you want to carry more, the combination of robust frame and back seat makes hauling stuff around really easy. The fat tires let you ride with confidence just about anywhere, and the full suspension flattens out the rough bits of city life. So, who do I think this is for? If you're a regular rider who commutes, explores your city, or likes to get a little adventurous on weekends, I'd recommend this for you. If you've never had an e-bike before, it's a pretty forgiving and stable introduction, and if you're upgrading from a smaller or less powerful bike, you're going to notice the difference right away. In conclusion, after putting real miles on the Jasion RetroVolt Electric Bike and pushing it through everyday errands, gravel paths, and some downtown chaos, I can say it's one of the most fun and dependable e-bikes I've tried lately. There are some small things to get used to, but nothing that takes away from the big picture. Impressive range, plenty of power, eye-catching looks, and a really comfy ride for almost any situation. If you want something that keeps things simple but powerful, with enough style to make you smile every time you hop on, definitely check this one out. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Jasion RetroVolt Electric Bike. Thank you for watching.